Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to day 6. We're going to continue talking about composite figures. I'm going to start by reminding us what a composite figure is. And I actually have a picture of one right behind me. What is that? Well, the first thing you probably noticed was it was a swan. Maybe you thought a bird, right? A swan is a type of bird. But it is a swan, and it is made up of various shapes. So we got triangles, we got squares, we got parallelograms, and that is what a composite figure is. A composite figure is a figure that is made up of multiple shapes. Okay, so in other words, it's not your traditional shapes, polygons, circles. It is comprised of, or is made up of, multiple. All right, just real quick to review, perimeter is the outside of a figure. The area is the inside of a figure, how much space it takes up. And so to find the perimeter, you add up all the sides, and then for area you use the formula. Okay, and so for most of you, I've given you all of these formulas again. I just want to remind you what they are. Okay, because these are what you're going to be using. And remember, you do not need to try to memorize these formulas because they will be given to you. For those of you copying this or maybe seeing this for the first time, okay, so those are our formulas. Again, this is to find the area of these figures. We got a rectangle, triangle, parallelogram, trapezoid, and then a circle. All right, and then want to remind us that when you're dealing with a circle, when you're talking about perimeter or the outside, it is called the circumference. Okay, that's what it's called. It's not called perimeter, so that's why I cancel or cross out that P and put C equals. It also goes, the point that goes from one side to the other through the middle is called the diameter, and it is 2 times the radius. And then the radius, it goes from one point through to the middle, and this is half of the diameter. Okay, so that's a review really quickly of what we covered in the last video. Okay, and so also, just a quick recap, we talked about finding the perimeter. To find the perimeter of some sides, you would find any missing angles, or missing sides that you might have, and then you need to add up all of the sides. So in this example, to find the perimeter, I have to add up all the sides. Well, there are a couple sides that are not labeled. Okay, and so some of us could make the mistake of seeing this and say, oh, the perimeter is 10 plus 6 plus 4, that's 20, plus 3 is 23. Well, if I do that, that is incorrect, okay, because I have these sides right here that are missing. So I have to use the sides that I do have labeled to determine what are the missing sides. And so I do that by just looking what's across from it. Okay, so this one, the side that's across from this missing one is this one right here, and so that is 4. Okay, and then I also have this one is across from this one, so I know that that is 3. Well, this one I don't know what it is, but I do have something that is across from it that I can help me figure that out. Okay, so this whole side is 10. Okay, and then this side, on the other side, it's not straight down like this one, but it goes here, then it goes back, but that's also here, and then there's this little piece here. Okay, so, or over here rather, so it goes here, back here, then here, but we know all of that equals 10. All right, and then I know from here to here is 6, so 10 minus 6 is 4, so that means this little piece and this little piece together equals 4. Well, then, because it's just 2 pieces, I'm just going to cut that in half, and they look like they're half. I'm going to take that 4, divide it by 2, and that tells me that this little piece is 2, and that little piece is 2. Okay, so there is some work that you got to do to find the missing pieces, but again, you're just using what you have and looking across from it to see if you can determine what is missing. So then to find the perimeter of this one, I'm just going to add 10 plus 3 plus 2 plus 4 plus 6 plus 4 plus 2 plus 3. And when I add all of that up, it gives me, let me make sure I did that right. 10 plus 3 plus 2 plus 4 plus 6 plus 2 plus 3. Yeah, it gives me 34 yards, okay? So that is the perimeter of that figure, okay? Now, would love for you to go ahead and pause it and see if you can do the perimeter of the next 2 figures, okay? So pause it, see if you can do the perimeter of the next 2 figures. Remember, start by finding any missing sides, any sides that are not labeled. Make sure you label them with the correct length of that side, and then make sure you go ahead and add them all up. All right, so in this is 6 because this is across from that one, okay? This is 4, so this must be a square, so I know all of these sides are 4, okay? And then if this is 4 and this is 4, that's 8. This also must be 4, okay? And I know that was 12, okay? Or this is like the same as that. So I have all my sides, so I'm gonna add 6 or 12, 6, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, and then 6. All right, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have 5 4s. That's 20. 20 plus, and then 20 plus 12 is 32, and then 32 plus another 12 is 44. So we have 44 meters is the perimeter for that figure right there when I add up all the sides there, okay? For the next one, again, I'm gonna find any missing values that I have, okay? Again, even if it's not labeled, I still need to include that in the perimeter. So I am going to figure out what this side is, okay? And I'm gonna figure out what this side is by looking across from it, okay? So looking across, and when I look across, okay, this piece is 8, okay, and then this piece is 6. Oh, so I need to add 8 plus 6 to give me the length of this, which is 14, okay? So then 14 is that length, so then I'm gonna add 6 plus 6, 12, plus 8, plus 9, and then plus 14, and this gives me 43 yards as my perimeter, okay? Now, and so for most of us, this is the only new part. Today we are going to be looking at just the area of the shapes that make up a composite figure. So last time, it was, if I'm honest, it was a little bit of a difficulty because there were so many steps that were involved. And so what I've decided to do is just break it down to where we are now just finding the area of each shape, okay? And then just know that we're going back to where we have a composite figure where you have multiple shapes and then you just have to add it, okay? But for today's lesson, we are just gonna focus on finding the area of just simple shapes, polygons and circles, okay? So for each of these, I always wanna start by writing down my formula for each shape that I'm finding the area for. So for this first one, I am finding the area of a triangle. Okay, so I'm gonna write down the formula for finding the area of a triangle. And the formula, again, I'm always gonna go to my formula sheet, okay, and is this one. All right, so it is 1/2 base times height, okay? And so now I just need to know what my base is and what my height is, okay? And so when I do that, The base is usually along the bottom, okay? That is 10, so it's 10 meters, okay? Now my height is always straight up and down, okay? So when you think about height, height is always straight up and down. If I'm asking you your height, I don't want you to be leaning to the side, right? So I don't really, even if I'm giving this hypotenuse, I don't need to use that. I need the height. And sometimes the height will be kind of, you know, have these dashes, but not all the time. But you need to look for the one that's straight up and down, okay? And so for this one, it is 12.5 meters, okay? So area, we got 1/2 times 10 meters times 12.5. And then when I multiply that, I'm gonna get 62.5. And because I'm doing meters times meters, this is gonna give me meters squared. Area is always meters squared, okay? So, yeah, just multiply those and that gives me my area, okay? So all we just need to know is just what is the formula. The formula is gonna be given to us. So then we just substitute those values into our formula, okay? So, what I want you to do now is, actually, let me just go ahead. I'm going to do one of each of these. So I'm going to do one of the triangles, one of the quadrilaterals, either the square or the rectangle, and then I'm going to do one of the circles, and then I'm going to let you do the other 3 on your own. Okay? So let's do the square. Okay? Now I didn't give you this, but you will have an additional formula for square. Okay? Again, if we think about the formula for a rectangle is area equals, again, rectangle is length times width, right? Well, this is a rectangle, length times width. Now, the square is similar, all right, length times width, but the difference with a square is that all of the sides are equal. So instead of having length and a different length and a different width, it really is, they're all the same, and so it's just called S. And so the formula for area of a square is S times S, and another way of writing that is just S squared. Okay, so didn't give you that, but that will be another formula that's given to you. All right, but again, if you think length times width, you're going to end up getting the same thing. It's not any different. All right, so formula is S times S. My side is 5 centimeters. Okay, times 5 centimeters, okay? And so when I multiply 5 times 5, I'm gonna end up with 25, and I got centimeters squared. And that is my area, all right? And then lastly, we got the circle, okay? So now we are going to find the area of this circle, and I'm gonna go back to my formula, okay? Area of a circle is super important that you use the correct formula and not the circumference one. So please make sure that you don't need to memorize these. Go back and look at your formula sheet, okay? And that will be provided for you on the test. So area of a circle is pi r squared, okay? Now, the r is the radius, okay? Now, I do need to know, so in this one, the radius, this 28 the radius or the diameter? Well, if I go back to my definitions, okay, diameter goes from one side to the other. The radius goes from one point to the middle, okay? So in other words, the radius is from here to here. It doesn't go all the way across, all right? So this is, what's given to me is the diameter. So what I got to do is I got to take half of that to find what the radius is, okay? So the radius is 14 here, okay? But if I look at the other one, this one doesn't give me a diameter, it gives me a radius. So when I do this one, or when you do this one, you don't need to take half of the 5, right? Again, the only reason I'm taking half of it is because this is a diameter, and I only need a radius, which goes from outside to the middle, okay? So then I'm going to plug in my radius. Now for pi, we're always just going to use 3.14, okay? So 3.14 times 14 squared, okay? And so when I multiply that, I end up with 615.44. Okay, now this one doesn't give us a measurement, so we're just going to put units squared. Okay, we don't know exactly what the units are. If it was centimeters, we put centimeters squared. If it was inches, inches squared, so on and so forth. Okay, so now I have done an example for each of these. Now I need you to go back and do the rectangle on your own, do the triangle on your own, and do this last circle on your own, finding the area of each of these. Okay, so go ahead and do that now. All right, when you have done this, please make sure that you start it by writing the formula. If you did not, I need you to do that every time. That way you don't get it mixed up, or you don't accidentally, leave out some information. So area formula for triangle is 1/2 base times height. So 1/2 base times height. In this one, 1/2, the base is the 4. Okay, so times 4 centimeters. The height, now I got two values. The height, again, remember, it's always straight up and down. Okay, this is the hypotenuse. We don't need that. The height is this 3. Okay, so 3 centimeters. And so then when I multiply 1/2 times 4 centimeters times 3, I'm going to get 6 centimeters squared. Okay, and that is my area. For the next one, I'm just going to, for a rectangle, I'm going to do length times width. So my length is 13.4 meters. My width is 12.5 meters. And when I multiply those two, 13.4 times 12.5, I'm going to end up with 167.5 meters squared. Okay, so that's the area for that one. And then lastly, area for this circle. Area equals pi r squared. Okay, pi, I'm going to use 3.14 times the radius, which is 5 squared. Okay, and so then just multiply those, we'll square it and then multiply times 3.14, and I end up with 78.5. Again, I don't know what the units are. It's units squared. Okay. So that is how you use the formulas to find the areas of various shapes. Now remember, all of this is so that we can eventually go back to doing problems like this. But what I wanted to do for today is just simply break it down and allow us to focus on just finding the area of the shapes, because then that's just going to make it really easy for then when we have these bigger shapes to just cut them up and then add them all together. So it's this, but just imagine, matter of fact, imagine with me, I'm taking this shape and putting it back together, okay? Because that's actually what this problem was. This problem was separated. I put it to, or they were together and I separated them. So that's all we're going to be doing, okay? For this lesson, okay? Once we get to the final examples that you're going to see and be tested on. All right. So, hey, thank you so much for your time. You have an activity where you can continue practicing this. Use your notes to help you. Let me know if you have any questions, and good luck.